Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today is Brawl's Day, and we're going to be playing around with a new M21 commander, one that I think is probably on the mediocre to bad scale, but you know what, we have to explore these commanders, because there aren't that many in M21, unfortunately. Most of them are kind of just like supplemental to the existing commanders that are already out now. So, really tried to push myself today for a Liliana Waker of the Dead deck. This card is pretty sweet. I really do like this card in a concept. I think just in terms of the standard card pool, though, it's just not quite there to allow us to really make the most of this. I think you need to play this in Historic. Since Dominaria's got a lot of discard matter cards, which we can't really go into right now because it won't actually show me. But yeah, let's go through it, shall we? 4 mana, 4 loyalty for a legendary Planeswalker. The +1 says that each player discards a card and each opponent who can't loses 3 life. I really tried with this deck to leverage that +1 as much as possible to make sure that the synchronicity of it is tilted slightly in our favor. So we've got a lot of card advantage pieces. Things like Maze Mind Tome allows us to draw a card whenever we want. So we can discard when we're empty-handed for no loss, so that our opponent discards and we don't. And then we can draw to find what we need. Most of our deck is kind of very good as a top deck in terms of a creature-based matchup for sure. So we've got a lot of board wipes and just targeted removal. Finale, Erebos' Intervention is pay X, where X is the amount you want to kill. We've got a little bit of Agonizing Remorse, Duresses, things of that nature. Liliana's Triumph as well, very solid in this deck. 2 mana, each opponent sacrifices a creature. If you control a Liliana Planeswalker, which is very easy to get to, then your opponent also discards a card, so really cool there. We want to basically tilt our card hand size in our favor so that we've got more cards than our opponent at all times. So if we can get these early Duresses, these early Agonizing Remorses out there and really tilt it in our favor, we can choose whether or not we want to actually tick up. So if our opponent's empty-handed and we're not, then we don't really need to use the +1. We can just keep our opponent empty-handed, but if they draw a card and hold it, then we just go straight for that tick up, get them empty-handed, and then keep maintaining board control. That's the idea of the deck for sure. The -3, target creature gets -X, where X is the number of cards in your graveyard. So again, we can really leverage that tick up because we're going to be putting cards in our yard. So the more cards that we have in our graveyard, the better the -3 ends up being. In matchups where it's bad, is usually matchups where the +1's going to be bad anyway, so we don't really have to worry too much. And then the -7, you get an emblem with at the beginning of combat on your turn, you put a creature card from a graveyard, onto the battlefield under your control, and it gains haste. So all of the creatures we've been killing throughout the game will become ours if we really want to. We've got a few pieces in our deck that are very good at reanimating as well. Things like Cavalier of Night. When this enters the battlefield, you can sack a creature to destroy a creature an opponent controls. That lets us have another -7 target guaranteed next turn. And when this one dies in particular as well, we get to return a creature with converting mana cost 3 or less from our graveyard to the battlefield. Things like Crystalline Giant, Midnight Reaper, Liliana Scrounger from M21, 3 mana 3/2. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, you may put a loyalty counter on a Liliana Planeswalker you control. So that gets us towards that -7 a lot quicker. We can actually get there fairly quickly with Liliana's tick up. A lot of the times we don't really need to -3 since a good chunk of our deck is just removal, so the -3 is not entirely necessary. We also have Liliana Dreadhorde General in here as well, so we can get the loyalty counters on that. And again, this is another one of those that ults very easily, and this one will win you the game almost on the spot. The -9 says each opponent chooses a permanent they control of each permanent type and sacrifices the rest. So essentially we leave them with 1 land. That's all you really need to know about it. 1 land, 1 creature, 1 planeswalker, 1 enchantment, 1 artifact. And yeah, usually it's not going to leave them with enough for them to come back into the game, because the creatures and the planeswalkers specifically can be answered by a lot of our cards in the form of like Murderous Riders, Eat to Extinctions, Grasp of Darkness, things of that nature anyway. But yeah, we're going to be trying to, as best we can, maintain card advantage while giving our opponent card disadvantage and trying to win the game through a slow grind of tick-ups and ultimates. So if you do enjoy the content and you want to see more of it, make sure to hit that like button. It helps out the channel a great deal and lets me know what kind of content you guys want to see. Yeah, without further ado, like, subscribe, and I'll see you there. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Okay, we're in, and we'll keep this. Our opponent's playing Nethra, Apex of Death, 5 mana, 5/5. Whenever it mutates, it wins the game. We're going to go with a Duress and see what our opponent's up to. Okay, lots of creatures to kill. We definitely want to get rid of the Guardian Project as our only option. Seems like a good idea. Imagine Incubation Druid to be the first card here. Yep. And we do really want to ramp up to our Liliana and our Ugin. I think both of those are going to be pretty good. Opponent gets to Solemn before we do. And yeah, we're just going to drop a Solemn of our own, I think. Liliana's tick up just really actively hurts us at this point. So I don't see too much of a purpose in actually going for it. Tolsamir to fight my Solemn. This is fine. I will draw. Cat combo part 1. And where do we go from here? We know they've got Plaguecrafter, so anything I play is already dead. I guess I could do Cat. Price of Fame, but not right now. Tolsamir. We'll play Gutter Bones, I guess. I do need to just get some power off this board, to be honest. Gonna adapt. I'll kill it. I think that's worthwhile. It's gonna be a 3-powered creature anyway, so might as well use my mana like that. Since we've got already 6 mana, and that's basically the top end short of Ugin the Spirit Dragon, I think I'm going to put those swamps into the trash where they belong, and we're going to pass the old Turnerino. Alright, Liliana. Get in there. Tick up. Ticking down would just lose us our Liliana, so we don't really want to do that. But they will probably Plaguecrafter here. Or maybe just top deck a direct answer, who knows. Nethra is not looking too fantastic. Yeah, top deck a direct answer. Okay. That's what I have come to expect from this game. Looks like we're drawing a lot of cards. Alright, so we'll trade off there. Chump there, chump there. And draw 3 cards. Hopefully we can draw our way out of this one. Liliana's going to take 4 off of Questing Beast's 15th line. Ooh. Ooh, Ugin the Spirit Dragon. He's very good. We can -5 Ugin. You are 5, yeah. You are 5 indeed. Alright, this should win us the game. -5, get rid of their board state. And then tick up with Liliana for some protection from Plaguecrafter. Everything got exiled there as well, so Nethra can still only really get an Incubation Druid and a Solemn here. And, yep, really solid top deckus from Liliana Dreadhorde General there. That's what we expect from her. Also, we got this Scrounger as well, so because we've got Liliana down so low, we can use the Scrounger to give us those loyalty counters and really get there. Also, Eugene coming down as well. If we draw a land, we can Eugene and Liliana Scrounger, so we can do a hell of a lot of stuff while also lightning bolting anything our opponent plays, making more zombies to protect. This game was over in a million different ways. Get wrecked, Crescent Beast. Get wrecked. Alrighty then, we're in, and this hand against our opponent's deck doesn't seem too great, to be honest, so I think we're going to take the free mull on this one, and this one looks almost identical, but we're going to keep it, because I don't like mulliganing. Alright, we're up against Nicol Bolas Dragon God, the one who has a draw a card effect on the tick up, so that's going to be really bad for us. I think it should go without saying. Opponent leads with an opt. Yeah, I imagine we've already lost the moment the show your commander part of the game appeared. I think we lost. Alright, Evolving Wilds. Gonna go for a swamp most likely. They want to get that 3 black mana sorted as soon as possible. We've got a Cling to Dust, which, to be honest, I think I might as well just fire off now. It is instant speed. I guess I could leave open Grasp of Darkness. For, I don't know, Thief of Sanities and things. Chromatic Lantern. Alright, so Bolas comes next turn and we lose. Cool. It's as simple as that. Price of Fame, yeah, doesn't take care of Planeswalkers. Oh, Eat to Extinction. Alright, so at least we can answer Bolas the first time around, if they go for it. They really have to. The only thing they could play around is kill Planeswalker effects, and there's very high chance that we've got one, so playing around it seems weird. Ooh, they've got a tap land. Could be on purpose, to hold open that counterspell. Or they could just have Fires of Invention. That would also do it. Bone Crusher Giant, okay. Yeah, I guess they just want to wait until I play my Liliana. Which, I mean, I've got no choice, to be honest. Just play it, make them discard, and then they win the game. We will get rid of Grasp of Darkness. And they will get rid of a land. Yep, excess lands. So they can't play Bolas unless they play a land here, or they hardcast actually. No, never mind. You don't have to follow the rules of Fire's Invention. We will get rid of Order of Midnight. And then the next card is going to be Narset. Yay. I didn't need to draw cards anyway. And they whiffed. Haha, get wrecked. Oh, Field of the Dead. You are a bundle of joy, aren't you, opponent? Alright, well, kill Bolas. Gutter Bones into the graveyard. That's actually where he belongs. And then let's make them discard again. We will get rid of Price of Fame this time. I think we want the Dreadhorde Invasion for pressure. We certainly want to get up to 6 mana so we can play our good spells. Here comes Bolas with his 2 mana tax. Oof, ouch. Oh dear. I mean, it's got to be Liliana's Triumph. God, this is such a non-game. Yep. Sublime Epiphany, counterspell with that sorcery speed shenanigans, and they've got Liliana. Let's just move on and have a better game. Hooey, looks like every single game is going to be I draw spells tribal. Okay, so yeah, no discard in this hand, no sign of anything good coming from it, so we're going to pass that one up, and this one looks much better, so hopefully Stonecoil Serpent will get the job done. Witch's Oven, top Deku. Amazing. Alright, pass the turn. Opponent with the double blue. And Ominous Seas. Okay, so when they draw cards enough times, they will win. What do we want to do here? This needs 3 other lands, 3 other swamps, yeah. So I might just go with Witch's Cottage and pass the turn. I don't know whether I want to just do a 1/1 Stonecoil Serpent, to be honest. Mirror Maid on Ominous Seas. Alrighty then. Ooh, again. Seems good. Alright, Hexproof. For the love of God, Hexproof. It's Vigilance. Alright, well, if we get to untap, we can untap with Village Rites. Huh. Narset, draw a card. I'm surprised they would go that route. Frogify. Sure. Yeah, it's just a little weird to me, because now I just get to kill Narset. I'm pretty happy with that. Sorry if you can hear the rain in the background, it's torrential right now. Do we go with Liliana's Take Up here? I almost think that we do. Does this hit Planeswalkers? It does. Oh my god. Well, I'm gonna pinch their mana, I think. We will get rid of... At this point, I think it's Stonecoil Serpent. They'll probably get rid of... Oh. Curabessa Sea God. Is this Squid Tribal? With a little bit of frog type. Okay, so they order their triggers correctly. From there we have Frogify my Giant. Sure. I can Village Rites that at some point. I think I'll do it now, actually, to be honest. Sack Crystalline Giant to draw 2. Then we get better choice of what we want to discard. Let's do S. Actually, we should have gone Banner first. Negate Mystical Dispute. Oh, you are a fun one. I think we're just going to take the Whirlwind of Thought and then make them discard all these counterspells. We will get rid of the Heraldic Banner, maybe? I'm not sure we're going to get to this Ugin anytime soon, to be honest. But we'll go with Banner. We're so close to actually ulting.
We're doing things my way.
Okay. So they need a white source in order to play Narset, and from there they can minus to deal 2 to Liliana, but that isn't gonna happen. So I think we might want to go with Liliana's Triumph just to make them discard here. Not entirely sure on that one. Maybe we could wait until the Ominous Seas. Now they have the mana for the minus. I think I'm going to leave them empty-handed. So let's make them discard, because we got a Liliana Planeswalker. I mean, sure. Now you're tapped out. So we're going to go up to 7. I think we're dumping Ugin. I don't think we're getting there. Play our land. And now we've got Murderous Rider to kill the Narset. And we've got a Liliana ult, which doesn't really do much, to be honest. So they have to minus here. Yeah, let's see what they can do. Hope they hit a land. Choose to keep it. Alright, well, kill your Narset. Actually, I have Crystalline Giant and Stonecoil Serpent in the yard. Is it a shock? I feel like they would have thrown it out there immediately, but what do I know? Okay. Alt Liliana. Put her in the command zone. I think... Got 7 cards in the yard at the moment. It's going to be 6 once we go to combat. Let's get Crystalline Giant out there. It skips combat though, because unfortunately we're already in combat and this is the beginning of combat, so we only get a haster. But that's fine. Wonder if that was part of the, No. There's no haste counters. Okay. Well, we want the Heartless Act for the token, so I think I'm just going to go with the Murderous Rider here. And then pass the turn. Can actually sack Murderous Rider if we really wanted to. For Witch's Oven tokens. Okay, now sets down.
Victory is just another puzzle.
Gonna go for the minus.
Meditate with me.
But killing Crystalline Giant's not really gonna do much, so they kind of have to just kill Murderous Rider or do nothing with their turn. Okay, they have actual 2 Ominous Seas tokens. Which is fine, because now we got Murderous Rider. Midnight Reaper, sorry. And I think I'm sacking Crystalline Giant to draw a card here. Because we're just going to get it back on combat anyway. I guess we should have gone maybe Midnight Reaper, so that it gets haste, actually. So that was a bit of a punt. Yep, there's an 8-8. And here's another 8-8. So we can send both of these at our opponent. Full control so it doesn't give our opponent the opportunity to block. And kill one of these. There we go. Then they can block one and then the other kills Narset. Should really go for Murderous Rider, because it actually gets shuffled to the bottom of our deck. But that's fine. Dread Presence is not too bad. Alright, so now they've got to build up their Ominous Seas again. It's going to be a while till we see Narset, thankfully. Got 8 cards in the yard, actually, so a Liliana minus can get rid of this token. Storm's Wrath. Okay. It's pretty good. Lockthwain is not a swamp. Price of Fame. It's not a legendary. So we can't use that. We'll just use our food token. Eugene is very good. Is Eugene one I want to go with here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You need a land, and then you get Narset next turn. Narset on the minus would be unfortunate. I think I'll just go for a Liliana minus on the token. While we've still got 9 cards in the yard. -9 for you, and let's get him with the Midnight Reaper. We can sack it to draw a card if we really want to, and then gain some life off the food token. Just going to draw and discard with Improbable Alliance to make a 1/1. So we're looking for a swamp at this point, I suppose. Swamp means Dread Presence, and we can kill the 1/1 and keep swinging. Let's resolve all that. And I think that's Narset mana now. Yep. Okay, I want additional stuff. We did get the swamp, so we're going to go with Dread Presence. Play the swamp to deal 2 here. Yeah, I think we're ticking up. And we'll dump the Price of Fame. Opponent's not really producing creatures right now that matter. Let's get the Crystalline Giant in there and hit our opponent for 6. And then pass the turn. We can draw with Castle Lochthwain. On end step. This is probably just going to be a Narset, which will kill something and then give our opponent a 1-1. But I think we can close out the game from that point. I have a hard time seeing us not being able to get this. Just discards an Essence Scatter so they can deal 2 damage. Liliana is a fine target. So they're going to go after Midnight Reaper. Might as well sack it in response, so I can gain a food token. And Agonizing Remorse is their final card to close this one out. We'll take 3. We've got Cat Combo. Seems good. So we just go tick up on the cat. Cat combo. Do our shenanigans. For hasty stuff, swing through our opponent. Not enough blockers, and no cards in hand. And we'll take the day. Gonna block our Death Toucher. I'd advise that. Alright, that went pretty well. It's a little clunky, but I expected that from this deck. I think this this particular commander probably will not even be tier 3. In at least standard Brawl. Historic Brawl, I might be able to see something along the lines of Liliana, because you really just want card advantage to break the synergy of this particular card, or the synchronous nature of it anyway, which we struggle a little bit with. We need like big boy cards like Ugin to really turn the tide, and Dread Presence, of course. We seem to have drawn a lot of them, so that's probably why we won this game. But yeah, when the deck does its thing, it wins, apparently. Okay, we're in, and it looks like we're up against a Mill commander. So how does this deck do, or this hand do against Mill? Not very well, I would say. This one, I can't really say that it does much better, to be honest, but it's what we're going to go with, I suppose. Are we? No, I think I'm going to mull to 6. So we can get to Liliana in time with a hand like this, but unless it's Petitioners, this Grasp of Darkness is going to be pretty dead. Eat to Extinction on 4. Ashiok's on 5, so we'd be killing a Ashiok on 1 by the time this is relevant. I just don't know if this is necessarily good. I think I will go again. And sure, why not? Order of Midnight is completely dead on the adventure side, so we're going to put that one to the bottom. So our opponent's playing Ashiok, Dream Render, 3 mana, 5 loyalty, Planeswalker. Spells and abilities your opponents control can't cause their controller to search their library. Don't believe I actually really do that in this deck, so nothing to worry about there. I do, however, have an excess amount of creature removal, and this deck can very well not have any. No, that's just not even worth killing. So I think we're probably going to lose. At least if our opponent mills over with Cauldron Familiar, we might be able to get the cat combo going. Who knows? Merfolk Secret Keeper for our opponent, and third land is desperately what I needed. So we're going to name Black to give our creatures that little bit of a buff. And I guess we're going with Liliana and making our opponent discard. If they're going to mill me, I'm going to make them discard. Although at this point, killing Ashiok with the Eat to Extinction right now probably seems like the better play. Let's just make sure that actually slows our opponent down enough. We're at 37 cards, so... Maze Mind Tome. That's a tough one, actually. I think I'm going to graveyard it for the possibility of a land. I think a land would be better. 4 mana, and see what our opponent wants to do. So it's the actual I'm trying to win the game kind of. Is that how we want to do it? Usually they want to keep the one with the most cards in it. I guess I don't really care about the Pilferer. I could try and trick them into thinking that top card's very good by putting an island at the bottom. It's all mind games at the end of the day. You can tell they got a tough choice. They went with the bottom pile for the card advantage. Ugin the Spirit Dragons. Pretty good. I think I'm just going to throw out a Cavalier of Night. On its own, it's actually enough to pressure our opponent. Don't have anything to reanimate with its death trigger, though. But that's okay. If we can ever get to this Ugin, I might just win. Short of them having counter magic. Okay. Get in with the Menace. Sure. And Ashiok's back. Mills, Gutter Bones, that kind of sucks, to be honest, as well as Farrak's Libation would have been pretty good at killing a Teferi's Tutelage. Agonizing Remorse, eh? So we can do an X3, which only kills Atris, unfortunately. I think I'm just going to have a look in their hand, see what they've got. Oh my god. Yep, that's almost entirely full of gas. And just take Sublime Epiphany, I guess. Yeah, don't know how we're winning this game. Truly do not. They will just chump with the things that are easy to chump with. And we'll gain some irrelevant amount of life. They're going to get to Ugin before we do. We're likely to just not get to Ugin at all, to be honest. So, yeah, halfway through our deck, and we have got no answers to Ashiok, so this game's over. Mills. All the lands I wanted to draw. Yeah. Uh-huh. Getting in for 3. And passes. Ends my turn. Yeah, we'll allow it. What's next, Ashiok? How will we have fun this turn? It's probably Liliana and just make me discard my cards. They've got some stuff in there they can constantly pull back. Ugin, who cannot be effed. I think I'm going to move on to the next game. There's 0% chance we win at this point. Ooh, a fascinating matchup. We're going to keep this hand, actually, because we got removal all the way up the curve, straight to Liliana. And the mana looks decent as well. Alright, so we are up against Rolex, Apex Hybrid. Lead off with Witch's Oven for now, just in case we draw the other half of that degenerate combo that I feel is necessary to this deck. 5 mana for a 4/5 with Flample. When Rolesk enters the battlefield, you put 2 counters on another target creature you control, and when it dies, you proliferate twice. It's pretty decent, actually. I'm just going to go land and pass. So it's probably going to be a counters matter strategy, which makes this Heartless Act look real awkward. But, well, that can get libationed very easily. Ooh, Liliana's Triumph. Okay, so we don't really have to fire this off just yet. We can We can dangle some bait. I should have probably gone with the Crystalline Giant then, actually. Alright, fine. Since I've sequenced this poorly, we won't let our opponent think they stand a chance of making that Ascendancy work. This triggers at the beginning of combat and we accidentally skip past it, so... Otherwise, I would have gone with the Giant there. Mu Yangling. Alright, it can only really tick up and be useful. Ooh, okay then. Is this a Liliana Walker of the Dead turn? Or a Crystalline Giant turn? I think we're going to go with Liliana first. And I'll dump the Heartless Act. I'm thinking next turn, because we know Mu Yangling is only useful once she's ticked up and then -3'd. They're going to have a 4/4 in play, which we can Liliana's Triumph, and also, because Liliana's in play, get the additional discards a card option there. I think that's the line, and if we've got a land as well, we're probably going to play that. Does mean we're going to be virtually empty-handed and on top decks. But hopefully that shouldn't matter too much. We do also have a -2 with Liliana's -3. It's not fantastic, but with all the discarding we're going to be doing pretty soon, seems like it could be relevant. Okay. And they're going to tick up with Mu Yangling. Sure. Well, I still think this is a good enough Liliana's Triumph. Lose Renata, discard a card. And then we're going to go Arcane Signet and tick up with Liliana, put our opponent down on cards. It's a tough one, actually, whether or not we want to go with the Crystalline Giant or the Intervention. I think I have to go with the Giant here. We are going to have a -7 coming up soon as well. Quasi-duplicate for our opponent. Okay. And I think I can set up the -7 if I keep removal in my hand and draw something that's relevant to help us keep doing that. So it's a Gaia Engineer. Really don't want to see that -8. It looks like it's going to happen, though. Haha, never mind. Goodbye, Mu Yangling. That is an interesting card. I don't know what to do with it. I think I'll keep it. And we'll have to minus here. I want to keep the Intervention.
Get out of my way already.
We're probably going to have to use it very soon. Alright, so do they just go with a normal Rolesque? If they do, I actually think I might just take the minus on Liliana here. Let's just double check. -5, -5. Yeah. Trade our commanders off. Mine's cheaper. Okay, they can proliferate onto nothing, and then we'll go for the Maze Mind's Tome. Draw a card with it. And even get a swamp. Nice. Alright. So we're set up for a Liliana minus again. Bioessence Hydra. Definitely want a minus on that. So let's do it. Liliana, Walker of the Dead. Minus on the Hydra. We'll play a Swamp, and we'll pass the turn. Come on, Lily. You can do it. Just a New Horizons with no creature to put counters on. And an Evolution Sage. Alright, well that at least gives us something to do with our Erebos' Intervention here. Which I think we're going to use. So we want to... I think we just want to -2 it. We could go for extra for the life gain. I don't think that's really relevant. So, -2. Tick up with Liliana to make them lose 3. And then we can draw a card. Yeah, we'll do it now. just in case we draw something decent, like a Murderous Rider, so we can take care of Rolesque, or whatever they top deck here. Woodland Mystic. Well, don't know if I want to take care of that. But I can keep ticking up and I can get rid of this swamp. We actually have maxed out mana now. If we get Ugin the Spirit Dragon, we can cast it. Let's go with a Maze Mind Tome activation again. And Agonizing Remorse is just discard fodder. So this is a really awkward spot now. I think we actually... We definitely kill something here. I think we're just going to kill Rolesque. We're going to see what we draw. We might kill Woodland Mystic with a top deck, or we could kill it with the Liliana -3. We definitely don't want to be just ticking up anyway. So, proliferates onto nothing. We've got cat combo. Alright. Let's draw with the Maze Mind Tome. Gain the 4 life because we maxed it out. Clackbridge Troll. You know what? That's not the worst. Let's go Clackbridge Troll. Give our opponent some goats. Let's goat to combat. And see if they want to give us some card advantage. They do. I'm not sure that's a good play for them. But they seem to disagree. I think because I don't have a good Agonizing Remorse target here, I'm going to discard that. And we want to play the Cauldron Familiar, because if we don't have a food token to keep looping it. And our opponents decided that's enough. The Great Henge was going to be their next play. Most likely. I think they could have played it anyway. And yeah, looks like we just had the card advantage on them after all. And eventually we lead ourselves all the way to the Liliana ult, where we can keep repeating Clackbridge Trolls if it keeps dying. Otherwise we've got Crystalline Giant. Cavalier of Night can keep killing things as well, and we can keep returning, which is pretty sweet. Not a great deal to actually return there, but I think between cat combo, kind of advantage off the Clackbridge Troll and keeping our opponent constantly on top decks with nothing actually good on board. I think we've got a solid position that we basically can't lose from. We've even got a -8 with the -3, so pretty solid. Alright guys, well that is going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one. I think the overall verdict of this deck is that it is mediocre to bad, to be honest. Of the... how many games have we played today? 5, I think. 5 games. I think we ended up on top, but yeah, they weren't exactly the most one-sided matchups, let's say, when we were winning. But, you know, usually the good cards come out and we win, so it's kind of one of those situations. I think this deck is kind of lacking early game creatures. I think you want creature-based Liliana decks, to be honest. So the -7 can be leveraged a little bit more. You want things like Ravenous Chupacabra from Dominaria. I definitely think I want to give this a shot in Historic, but with no arenabrawl.net anymore, it's become a little bit difficult to do that. But yeah, it's a fun deck anyway. If you've got the pieces, I recommend playing it a little bit. But you're probably going to fold pretty hard to the decks that constantly draw cards, because you will be at card disadvantage, which is, you know, it is what it is. Alright guys, well if you did enjoy, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe as well for more Brawl content in the future. I think we've pretty much hit the limit on most of the Brawl commanders. I think there's like 2 more from M21. So expect some repeats, some updates from older decks. It's never really a bad thing though, because there's some pretty sweet commanders in older sets, and I know M21 is very supplemental, I would say. Like Liliana is good in other black decks, I think, just not good as a commander. Same thing kind of goes for Ugin the Spirit Dragon, you know? It's that kind of style, but yeah. Make sure to hit the like button if you did like it. Subscribe if you want to see more of it. Hit that bell icon if you want to be informed when there is more of it. And yeah, have a good rest of the day, guys. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.